Hi, good morning. Happy Saturday. How's everybody doing today? You guys being shy? Let me know if you find the chat. Let me know if you can hear me okay. You guys can hear me okay? Give me a little thumbs up if you can hear. Okay, thanks. Good. So here we are, day 1 of Virgo season. Oh, you guys, it snuck up. I didn't realize that it was Virgo season literally until last night when I was going over my notes for class. I love some Virgo season, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, is anyone else a Virgo here? Well, I'm not a Virgo, but is anyone a Virgo? Give me a heart or some signs of life. I see one. Awesome. Okay, good. Let's see. Good deal. So we have at least one Virgo in the house who maybe wants to remain anonymous. What's the deal with Virgos? We all know Virgos, right? What is the thing that comes to mind when you think about Virgo? You can think to yourself or you can answer in the chat. And then we shall discuss. I'm an earth sign, but not Virgo. Cool. Mila says obsessive organizers. Yeah. So Virgos are really good friends to have because Virgos tend to do everything right. They tend to do everything very meticulously, don't they? Sometimes I would dare even say, and I mean no offense to the Virgo in the room, but I dare say sometimes Virgos make the rest of us feel like incompetent. Not intentionally. They just naturally tend to excel. They tend to be very detail-oriented people, very meticulous types. So it's something that, going into this season, this next month, I think it's really funny that it's always a fun experiment whenever we kind of go through the zodiac. And look, guys, I am not an official astrologer by any stretch of the word, but I'm into it, and it's always fun to kind of see what is this season of life speaking to me, what's here for me. And it's like we can kind of take some of the best qualities of each sign, if you will, and try them on, and maybe consider in our own lives, well, how could I take a little spoonful of Virgo into my life in this season? And it's also kind of ironic for those of you guys who were doing boot camp with me, the embodiment boot camp, we're talking about sabotage this week. So there's a lot to unpack there. What a season of life we're in right now to look at our sabotaging behaviors. So a lot of times, if you kind of crosshatch Virgo season with discussing sabotage, it feels right. It feels like a Virgo would probably never sabotage themselves, would they? Let's see. So there's a part of the Kundalini teaching that I want to work with today that's kind of applicable to these themes of sabotage, as well as these themes of meticulism, or maybe even, dare we say, perfectionism sometimes. Because really, let's be honest, sometimes our Virgo friends who are so naturally excellent at so many things, sometimes they can be their own worst critic, right? Whoever's the Virgo, let me know if that's you or not. So there's this teaching in the Kundalini lineage about the neutral mind, the negative mind, and the positive mind. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about this morning. It's this theme or this belief that in your own human brain, you have the three parts. The negative mind is there to keep you safe. And this is where, especially if you're in boot camp with me, you've heard me talk about the subconscious mind. And even in classes, you'll hear me talk about the subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the part that's here to keep you safe. And it runs on efficiency. It's a very Virgo move. And it wants you to keep doing all the things that you know how to do really well, because that's how you're going to get through the day the most, maximum efficiency. Doesn't really care about fun, doesn't really care about meeting your emotional needs. It's just about get the job done. It's also the thing that tells you to respond to fear. Okay, and so again, as a child, you learn not to touch a hot stove. That's your negative mind. Or it teaches you to, look both ways before you cross the street. That's your negative mind. And mind holds the worst possible case scenario. Okay, your positive mind is just the opposite of that. Your positive mind is the part of your brain that says, it's cool, go ahead and jump off that cliff. You're going to be fine. You'll figure it out on the way down. Life is good. Everything is fine. Like do all the things, like spend all your money, do, whatever the thing is for you. You're good. Everything's going to work out. So I feel like naturally many of us tend to kind of go towards one way or the other. And I'll be the first to tell you, I am very much a positive mind. Like I am the one who's like, yeah, jump off the cliff. You're going to be fine. You'll find your wings, and that's kind of been more my philosophy in life, more so than the negative mind. But really, a lot of the practices that we do in the Kundalini tradition and really in meditation in general, it's to strengthen that middle ground, that neutral mind. So the neutral mind is so important because the neutral mind is the one that it's written about the neutral mind that it cuts through the other two like a lightning strike. So the neutral mind is the one that says, you're crazy, you're trying to get me to jump off a cliff, and here's what needs to happen. Okay, so the neutral mind is like a no BS, really that lightning strike of intuition, the perfect move, like let's just do this and feel good about it. So I want to take you guys through a meditation this morning that strengthens the neutral mind. And I'll tell you why right now that's important in particular, especially going into Virgo season. But honestly, astrology aside, how many of us have been living in our negative mind for the past 5 months? Give me a heart if that feels right. It's been a little challenging because, let's be real, the worst possible case scenario has come to earth in many people's opinion. And I know that honestly, like that may be, I don't mean to be a little bit of a jab. I know things could always be a lot worse, but especially when things really first started to set in and the world started to change so quickly, it's like, these are things that we never imagined living through, right? And although we've gotten past that initial point of shock and maybe the worst case scenario kind of thing, many of us are still stuck in the problem solving stage. Many of us are still in an adjustment period right now that is very, potentially uncomfortable and figuring things out. And especially when it means that we're navigating change, especially when we're navigating change that we didn't sign up for. When we're having to problem solve, it can be very easy to get stuck in the negative mind. And what starts to happen is you can start to pick yourself apart and say, well, you're not very good at doing that, or you didn't do that sooner, so why even bother now? That can be a lot of methods of sabotage to say, well, what's the bother if you're not going to be as good as that person at doing it? Or sometimes it can just feel like, why didn't you have this figured out? Why weren't you prepared for this happening? Just food for thought to see where it may be applicable to your life. As always, there's always some little nuggets that you can kind of scan through these themes and think. But today, that's what I want to work with, and maybe releasing some of that negative mind and getting more towards that neutral mind. It's a beautiful place to go. There's a meditation that I've been working with for the past few months that is beaming. It's called Beaming and Creating the Future. And for whatever reason, I didn't plan to do it today, but we did it a couple weeks ago. And it's this really sweet space of like, you go into the neutral mind, and man, does it feel good. So we're going to do that at the end. It's not the same meditation, but we're going to do kind of a variation of that one at the end. And go, and it feels like you're on vacation. And it's a place that you can go with a little bit of practice. You can cultivate this to be able to go into your neutral mind on command. And it feels like you can just kind of press pause on everything. Press pause on the problem solving, press pause on the, self-improvement or, development, whatever the thing is. Press pause on all of it and just kind of earmuffs, earmuffs and blinders on for a few minutes, and it feels really just beautiful. So that's what I want to work with today, if that sounds good. If this is your first time, we're going to do a little tune in once we get started. So we actually combine a couple of different techniques in my method, Embodiment. It's a blend, if you will, a medley of a little bit of Kundalini yoga and meditation and breath work, pranayama, if you're familiar with other veins of yoga. We're going to do a little EFT tapping today, which EFT tapping is incredible for shifting your nervous system into a different place. These are a lot of things that might feel a little bit awkward if you've never experienced them before. So just, again, getting out of that negative mind, letting yourself go into a neutral space, letting yourself be an observer today is the perfect way to go about this. And just get curious. See what happens. See how you feel in your body. See how you feel in your mind. See what comes up to you today in your mind. And just have a little fun if you can, right? So go ahead and start to drop into your body. Starting to get comfy in your seat, taking your last little sip of water or matcha, whatever you have. And I'm going to light a little smoke. I have a little Palo Santo here. If you have something near you, to really kind of open the space, creating this sensory experience for yourself is a great way to start your practice. Creating a little ritual or a little ceremony to come into the body. Smudge you guys too if you don't have anything. You can take it in virtually. So finding your comfy seat and then starting to deepen the breath. Breathing deeper into the belly. You can close your eyes and start to sit up tall. And as we start to go into this discussion of perfectionism or sabotage or any of these things, what's the word or what's the feeling that comes up for you? Maybe one of those words feels more particularly jabbing to you today. Maybe there's a she's talking to me kind of thing. Or maybe not yet. That's okay too. Just starting to get curious as you come into the body, deepening the breath, letting the belly expand and fill all the way up like a big balloon. And then exhaling, letting your body sink just a little bit deeper into your seat, letting your body just start to let go a little bit more from the week. As you continue breathing deep in the belly, starting to notice any areas that might feel stuck or tight, or just feel a little heavy or dense. Breathing into those spots. And just opening this space for yourself in the next few minutes here today. Giving yourself the space and the grace to actually take a look at what's here for you today. Take a look at what lessons might be here for you today, even if they feel a little uncomfortable, even if they make you squirm a little bit. Just allowing yourself the moment to sit with whatever comes up for you today. Giving yourself the chance to clear out anything that needs clearing today. Let's go ahead and take one more deep round of breath together, and then we'll get started by tuning in. Let it go through the mouth, making a little sound if it feels good. And bringing the palms together. Kicking off with a little sound current. So if you're brand new, we're going to tune in with the Adi mantra, and the words are Ong, O-N-G, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. You just want to bring hands into a prayer position, thumbs come into the sternum. Sit up nice and tall, like the regal yogis that we are. Feeling your spine align, maybe kind of tilting the hips until you get comfortable. Stretching up all the way through the back of the neck, tucking your chin back just a little bit, and then rolling your shoulders back and down. You can close your eyes. We're going to go through this mantra, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, 3 times. I'm going to bellow it out. If you don't get the words just right, that's perfectly fine. You can just make a little noise. Feeling that sound current, feeling that rumble from the pit of your belly all the way coming up through the sinuses. You should feel it projecting like out of your nose. And when you hit it just right, you'll know it, and it feels great. Let's go ahead and get started with a deep inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Good, deep inhale, hold it at the top. And exhale. Relaxing the breath, relaxing the hands, and just feeling the difference after clearing with that sound current, clearing your space inside your body and around your body. Just noticing the subtle shifts as you start to perhaps soften even more. And let's start out with a little movement this morning, just starting gently to wake up the body, whatever, it may be afternoon for you, but it is still morning here in LA. So let's just wake ourselves up a little gently. So sitting up tall, let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder and start to just circle the neck. Heavy, 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 like your head is rolling around like a big bowling ball. Taking the breath deep. Letting go of any of the tension from the week. And feel free to make a little sound on your exhales if that feels right, to just sigh it all out. Letting yourself move through any spots of discomfort with so much gentle compassion for that big old head that's been running 90 to nothing. One more this way. And inhaling back to center, sit up tall, reset. And exhale, left ear to the left shoulder. Start to go the other way. Noticing if one side feels stickier than the other. Really forcing the breath deeper. Really stretching your capacity for the breath this morning, in and out through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels good. Inhale back up to center. Feeling yourself softening more. Taking the hands to the shoulders, so the thumbs in the back, the fingertips to the front, and let's just start to washing machine a little bit here. So inhaling left, exhaling right. In and out through the nose here, moving at your own pace. You don't have to match mine. You can go just as slow as your body wants to move this morning. Same thing here, just starting to notice where you might need a little extra softening, where you might need a little extra grace this morning, where you might need a little bit of an extra wake-up call this morning, just giving yourself the space to do that. Really starting to increase the power of the breath through the nose. And inhale back to center. Exhale out. Relax the hands. Starting to feel that energy moving through you as you really start to wake up the breath this morning. And then let's slow it back down once more for some Sufi grinds. So taking your hands to the top of your knees, top of your thighs, wherever feels good. And we're going to inhale, press the chest forward as you come around, circling over the hips. And then exhale as you cave it back. So inhale, stretching through the spine. Exhale, caving it back. Really starting to open through the hips and the low back. And this should feel really, really good. So if you feel anything that doesn't feel good, you can definitely honor that as always. Just see where you can go today to open a little bit more. And let's inhale back to center, sitting up tall. You can always exchange the legs here if you need to. One of my hips is having a moment this morning, so I'm going to swap the cross of my legs. And then we'll go the other way. So inhaling forward and then rolling yourself around, just as if you were a little mortar and pestle, if you can think, kind of grinding around this pelvic bowl. Again, it should feel really, really good. Should definitely feel some things opening. A little free chiropractic experience this morning, but be careful. Don't push yourself too hard. Let's go one more circle this way. inhale yourself back to center. Reset, find your balance. Coming back to sit up tall, noticing what feels different. After allowing yourself to move into a little bit of a wake up this morning. We're going to go into a little bit of breath work. Take another drink if you want. And this one's pretty easy. There's only one part to it today. So we're going to bring the fingertips together just like this, just as if you were contemplating something serious. So basically that's all there is to it. The hands, all the fingertips, all 5 fingertips touch the opposite hand fingertips with a little bit of pressure. So your fingertips almost kind of bend a little bit. And then the forearms are going to come parallel to the floor. So you're essentially holding it kind of right in front of this heart space. And just start to imagine, if you will, that this was your brain. Okay, so we're balancing those hemispheres of the brain. And once we start to breathe into it, it can sometimes start to feel a little challenging. So just do the best you can, as always. If you need to step out of the breath for a moment, then that's okay. With this particular mudra being held, the body's going to be perfectly still, sitting up tall through the top of the spine, tucking your chin back just a little. We're going to inhale deep through the nose, all the way filling up slowly. And then we're going to exhale with 8 strokes out through the mouth. And then we'll do it again. Inhale deep all the way through the top, through the nose, and then exhale 8 strokes out through the mouth. That's all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. So just continue with that cycle. There's not a lot to it, but I want you to read here. Once you find the rhythm of the breath, you can start to take the eyes down the tip of the nose and keep them locked in. So whether you find a fingertip to focus on, or you could kind of zone out and just soften the eyes. So you're not doing a hard cross on the eyes. Let it be comfortable. But sitting up tall, keeping the gaze very, very still. Pulling the navel in tight with every little exhale. So it's good. Making sure that you release all of the breath every exhale. So you're coming to the very bottom. Powerful, powerful little burst of air on that exhale. Bringing the mind back to the body if it starts to wander. It's written about this meditation that it uses the 10 radiance points in the fingertips that correlate to the zones of the brain in the 2 hemispheres. So if we sit here long enough, you're really going to feel this one. The equal pressure, so feeling that pressure in between the fingertips, the equal pressure causes a kind of communication between the 2 hemispheres. The deep inhale gives endurance and calmness, and the exhale through the mouth strengthens the parasympathetic system from a control band and reflexes in the ring of the throat. This calms the reaction to stress. We're already over halfway done here, so just keep going, doing the best that you can, finding that perfect rhythm with the breath. The strokes of the exhale stimulate the pituitary to optimize your clarity, intuition, and decision-making capacities. It resolves many inner conflicts, especially when the conflicts are from different levels of your own functioning. Spiritual versus mental versus physical or survival needs. How perfect is that? I'm going to read that again. It resolves many inner conflicts, especially when the conflicts are from different levels of your own functioning. Spiritual versus mental versus physical or survival needs. Bring it all together here, coming into the space of the neutral mind. eyes locked in place. Perfect the posture. Sit up taller. One more minute here. Increasing the power of the breath, making it as perfect as you can. Good. Take a deep inhale. Hold it at the top. Sip it a little bit more. Pulling the root lock like you have to go to the bathroom so bad. Pulling the navel in tight. Holding the breath. Feeling the balance. Hold it as long as you can. Exhaling whenever you need to. Let it go. Inhale, stretch the hands up overhead. And start to shake the hands. Shake, shake, shake as furiously as you possibly can. Let it all go right now. Keep breathing gently, but keep shaking furiously. Feeling any of the perfectionism leaving your body right now. Feeling any of the judgment leaving your body right now. Feeling any of the sabotage leaving your body right now. Let it go. Let the whole body start to shake. Whew. I lost a ring. Watch your jewels. One more breath. Keep shaking. Let it go. Good. Relax the breath. Relax the hands. Checking in to notice how you feel. Doesn't that just feel good? Man, I don't know about you, but I needed that. Let's do some tapping. So we'll go ahead and start to tap on the top of the head. Good. You guys feel good? Good. So as we start tapping, remember you can keep your eyes closed. That's going to help you to really go deeper into your own thoughts and really feel what's going on in your body. And just start to get curious. Some of these things may not apply to you, and some of them may be really difficult to say. But using the power of your own voice, that sound current, to really just, again, sit with these things this morning. Get curious this morning about what's here for you, what's possible for you to release today. Let's take one more round of breath in. Good. And starting to repeat after me. Sometimes I find myself totally exhausted, just trying to keep up with everything that I need to do, and with all of the problems that need solving right now. Good. Breathing into it, allowing that exhaustion to start to surface. Let it come out of you. Exhale heavy, let it go. moving in between the brows. Everything feels extra hard right now. And sometimes my heart feels so heavy. Just feeling into it. Breathing through it, noticing as you start to feel any sort of waves of emotion or discomfort coming through the body, just letting it happen, letting it release right now. Moving to the outside of the brow. Sometimes I feel like I'm never enough. Sometimes I feel like I'll never get it right. Sometimes I feel like I'm so far behind that it's not even worth trying anymore. Good. Big clearing breath right there. Good. Underneath the eyes. I get so frustrated with myself. And this has been going on for so long. But maybe it's time to stop. Maybe it's time to consider that this is just an old story that doesn't have to be true anymore. Good. Breathing into that, just seeing where it lands in the body and in the mind. What if this didn't have to be true for you today? What if you could drop that old story that you weren't enough? What if you could drop it into the floor right now? How would that feel if you could stand up out of this class and let it go today, never being your truth again? Just starting to let yourself get curious about the possibility. Moving underneath the nose. Who says that I'm not enough? Asking yourself out loud and then just checking in for what happens. Who says that I'm not doing enough? Who says that I'm falling behind? Who says that I've messed up? Good. Taking a huge, deep, clearing breath, letting all of that go. Good. Moving to the chin now. Isn't it possible that I'm figuring things out in my own time and in my own way? Good. Moving to the collarbone. Isn't it possible that I'm learning as I go along? And isn't it true that none of us have ever been through this before? Good. Breathing in a little bit of grace right here. Good. Moving on to the sternum, softening into the heart right now. So isn't it possible that it's time to forgive myself for not being perfect and for comparing myself to someone else's picture? Taking a giant breath in of forgiveness right here, filling all the way up, clearing it out. feeling it leaving you now, moving underneath the arms, just a couple inches below your armpit. I forgive myself for disappointment. I forgive myself for disappointment. And I'm ready to release this shame. I'm ready to quit making it harder on myself. And start finding some grace. Good. Big, huge breath in right now, breathing into all of that grace and forgiveness. Good. Underneath the ribs. Because I deserve some understanding. I'm doing the best I can. And even if I'm not perfect, I can still keep trying. Good. Breathing in there, taking one more round of breath. Good. Feeling the difference in your body, feeling where you're softening, feeling where you have more space. Moving to the very top of the head once more. I'm ready to pick myself up. I'm ready to keep moving. I'm doing just fine. Feeling into those words, I am doing just fine. So it's okay to relax. It's safe for me to relax now. Good. In between the brows. I don't have to be perfect. Because who gets to decide what's perfect anyway? And where's the fun in perfect? Outside of the brow. So what if I make a mess? The whole world is a mess. So I might as well have some fun. Good. Starting to just consider what would that look like if you could let yourself find some fun today. Moving underneath the brow. I'm leaning into my learning curve. I'm learning how to navigate all of these choppy waters. And it's okay for me to find some fun. Under the nose. So I'm learning to laugh whenever I fall down. And I'm learning to pick myself back up. Good. Moving onto the chin. I choose to keep going. I choose to keep laughing. And I choose to love myself. Good. Big deep inhale there. One more time, moving to the collarbone. I choose to love myself. No matter how bad I mess up. Moving on to the sternum, going back into the heart, letting these words take root. I accept myself completely. Flaws and all. I am perfectly imperfect. And I give myself so much space and grace to continue on my path. Good. Taking one more giant deep breath in, filling all the way up to the top, relaxing the hands, holding the breath at the top for just a moment, sipping in a little more, holding it, feeling all of the energy around you, calling all of your energy back to you now. Exhaling gently, holding your focus, feeling all of that energy circulating through every cell in your body. Allow yourself to feel recharged here, now that you've cleared out all of that grief and judgment, now that you've made some space. Breathing into that space and allowing your mind to take you into the neutral mind. Going into this space right now, allowing yourself, just as if you could float up out of your body right now. Floating up into the heavens, floating up into the neutral space. Just getting curious about what that looks like for you. If you could rise above everything that's happening in your own body, if you could rise above everything that's happening in your own home, if you could rise above all of the responsibilities and all of the conflict that's in the world right now, keep going, floating higher above all of the negative energy that's on the planet, rising above it right now into the place where nothing else matters, where you can just be. Once you find yourself in the neutral space, just breathing into it, keeping your focus locked in there, allowing your mind to drop an anchor right there. And just breathe. If the thoughts start to come back in, just push them out. Holding a space around yourself, just as if you could surround yourself with a beautiful little protective bubble right now. In this neutral space, suspended above it all. Expanding that bubble as big as you want to make it, or keeping it as cozy as it feels good, whatever you need right now. Just allowing yourself to be in the neutral mind. Nothing needs solving. There's no tension. All of your needs are met here in the neutral space. Allowing yourself to be further replenished. Releasing any tension that may creep in through the body. Just observing how the neutral space feels. What color is it? What's the temperature? letting yourself absorb even more this beautiful energy, just like it's a big drink of water for your mind, for your body, for your soul. Holding it here, holding those walls up strong for yourself, keeping yourself in this neutral space. Recognizing that you are in control of your neutral mind. You just have to find it. You have access to your neutral mind anytime you may need it. Sending up so much gratitude for this neutral space. And taking just another minute here to take in whatever you need today. If there's any guidance that you're seeking, let yourself take from the neutral space right now. Whatever answer is your lightning bolt, cut through the conflict. Or perhaps you just need to bask in this suspension for just a few more minutes, just breathing it in. Taking one more of your fullest breaths right here, filling up with this neutral space, filling up with this healing energy right now. Slowly and gently starting to bring your attention back to the body, tracing the breath in through the nose, up to the brain, and down the spine, down the base of the spine, just as if you could connect all the way through your root back to the earth, feeling your seat beneath you, feeling yourself so grounded and sinking in to the earth beneath you just a little bit more right here. And then pulling that breath up from the center of the earth, coming back down into the now. Coming back down into your body and into your space. Coming back fully into your body and noticing what feels different. Noticing the sweetness that's still with you, the sweetness of the neutral space that's all yours. Just taking a moment here, coming back into the body, coming back fully awake. And just checking in with yourself. What do you need today? What does your body need from you today? What does your mind need from you today? Maybe you need some play in your life. What can you do that sounds fun today? Or restorative? Or maybe even strengthening, whatever you need today, making a little commitment to yourself today to give yourself that thing, whatever it is, whatever it feels. Thank you guys so much for coming to practice with me today. I hope you feel incredible. Hope you enjoyed your time today. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Happy Saturday. If you want to stick around for a selfie, it's class tradition, but you're going to have